DorkLair.
Welcome to another DorkLair action figure review. Today I'm taking a look at the Mezco 112 Collective Nosferatu. This figure actually came out pretty recently, and then it had a second production run pre-order. So if you actually want to try to get your hands on this figure, I think you can still probably jump on that wait list and have a decent shot of picking this guy up. It's a great release. It's a little pricey, but it does come, with a full-on like diorama piece. So actually, I think it's 112. I don't think it's that bad. Some people complained about the fact that it's a bundle, but quite frankly, I don't really know that it would have been much cheaper, considering this diorama casket that it comes with. But overall, it's a pretty good figure. I have a couple little minor nitpicks. The ankles are a little loose, as you can see them kind of wobbling here. But overall, the sculpt and just the presentation on this guy is amazing. Just an awesome, creepy action figure from a classic silent film, part of their Silent Screamers line. I wonder if they're going to maybe do some more of their Silent Screamers stuff in the 112, or if this is just a one-off to celebrate their anniversary. But this thing is pretty sweet, so let's get into this review. All right, Nosferatu comes in a lunchbox. I love this. It's great for storage. It's just awesome to have these tins, and to have it in the style of a lunchbox is so classic. Yeah, this thing is pretty cool. You got some Count Orlok on the side there. Same image on the back with some information. And then you have another picture of him on that side there. And the bottom is just that stripe. But yeah, I love I do really like the packaging here with the lunchbox tin. Again, I think some people feel like maybe it drives the price up, but overall, I'm happy with it, and I'm always down for a little extra storage to put some figures in. I will probably myself be tossing the inserts and storing some baggied figures in the tin. All right, let's take a look at this creepy stylized version of this character. It's definitely a monsterized version, and I wouldn't want anything else. I think this is so great. It comes with 3 heads, so it's going to be awesome for head swaps and mixing and matching with other characters, especially with the Gomez stuff. I believe the heads fit properly on Gomez bodies. So a little close-up of that head, just super detailed. All the wrinkles, all the shading, the flesh, like vampiric, sort of like all pale and fleshy. And then you have those eyes that are just a solid glossy black right there. Tons of shading in the eye, kind of in the mouth. You can see his fangs just a little bit peeking through. But oh, look at all of that. Wrinkles and texturing going on that head. That's amazing. The other 2 heads are pretty much just as awesome, with a little variation of how wide open the mouth is. And then the jacket is really sweet. You've got this collar, nicely tailored, and then all these buttons right down the front of the jacket with some frayed parts and a little bit of like discoloring on the edges, on the bottom of the edge. Just super creepy. I'm going to pop the head off so you can see that there is some clothing underneath. So you've got a little bit of like a shirt under there that you get a little hint of that's kind of disappears, especially in this lighting, but you can see it there. But when the head's on there, it can kind of hide it a little bit. And he's got these sort of tights on. They're gray, and there's definitely some weathering there. There's definitely some kind of like dirt smudges painted on there, and then down into the feet, and the shoes are sculpted. You can see the seam down the front of the shoe, a little fringe on the edge there. They're almost like sort of slippers, and there's the bottom, actually a smooth bottom. The sculpt work you can see on the arms, they're all like veiny and vampiric, and the same with the hands, just tons of detail. You can see the sort of like the fingernails, the claws have a couple different shades going on, blending in palm of the hand there. But yeah, it's just so creepy, and it's just so detailed that it's just really creeping me out. I swear I saw one of the rats move on its own. And then getting a look at how Count Orlok sizes up to a few other figures. Here he is with a couple other Mezcos. We got Blade on the right, and then we have Spock on the left. And then here he is with a couple Gomez figures, a couple of the Golden Dragons, some 2.0 vampires from Mythic Legions, Lucretia on the left and the Vampire Knight on the right. Then a couple other vampires. On the left, we have Vorgus Vermilius from the 1.0 Mythic Legions, and on the right is pretty much a Kylo Ren Misho figure, the Samurai Star Wars line from Tamashii Nations, with a custom vampire head on it. And then a couple other outsized lines. On the left is a Hasbro G.I. Joe classified Destro, and on the right is a Storm Collectibles Golden Axe skeleton, just to see a couple figures that don't quite scale with him. For accessories, he comes with 2 additional head sculpts. This one has the fangs actually out of the mouth, but still roughly the same expression there. Almost like he's hungry. And then this one is full-on raging vampire about to attack or eat you. Just look at that mouth. It's absolutely hideous. He's a little bit light on the hands for your typical Mezco figure. He has 3 sets of hands. So these are sort of like the wide open clawing action hands. And then he's got a pair of slightly more relaxed hands. There's sort of like this 2-finger thing going on in each of these hands. And then he's got a mixed pair of, I guess, sort of gripping hands. Like you could use these to grab things, but he's got this slightly more open one on the right-hand side, and then he's got this little bit more closed one on the left-hand side here. So a couple different hands. So 6 total hands. And then he's got this hat that actually fits on his head kind of perfectly. I think the seam's supposed to be in the front because that's pretty much the way it fits properly. If you switch it around, it doesn't quite feel right, but it's nice and snug if you have that seam in the front there. So that's a pretty cool look for him. He's got this keychain, and actually all the keys seem to be slightly different. It's plastic, but it has a metallic look. It's a very nice looking keychain. All these sort of like skeleton keys. And he's got a lantern with this cool sort of stained glass pattern around the edge. Nicely detailed little piece here. And then he's got the casket. This really excellent wooden look to it. It's very nicely detailed, very realistic looking wood pattern on there. Deeply sculpted. This doesn't like peg on or anything. It's just kind of like loosely on there. So if you want to have it upright, it's a little weird. But yeah, it kind of pops right off. But it's detailed on the inside too. So you got those you have those cross boards there. It's sort of broken up top. And you have him in there. You can actually have his face peeking out of that hole right there. Maybe have his claw reaching through. And then on the inside, oh, it's so disgusting. It's got rats all in there sculpted in. And just like this just nasty dirt earthy bottom. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. Definitely different than what it is in the movie. I think it's just like a square rectangular box, not a classic casket shape in the movie, but I'm glad it's this. I prefer this. But it's pretty cool. And then speaking of all those rats, he comes with 6 additional rats that are actually like loose little pieces, and they're all slightly different. So slightly different colors, slightly different sculpts. The tails are in different positions. You got one guy who's standing up there, one guy who's got a tail that's like curled around. So pretty cool thing to have with all these rats. But I think the toy photographers are in love with this set because this is just an awesome one for dioramas. I mean, it's just got everything sort of built right in that you could want to do photos with. So it's a lot of fun. It's going to make for a great display. I've already seen people doing like their own custom backdrops with the casket and everything in there, but pretty sweet set of accessories, especially the casket, which I think is what actually brings that value up for a piece like this that's over $100 retail. And just like every other Mezco, it comes with the 5-inch peg stand where you can pop the little piece out and then you can put the flight arm in there. Just an awesome piece. This one's not terribly special in my opinion. I mean, it's got that logo. Logo is fine, but I've seen some really clever and interesting ones from Mezco. This one's fairly average. For articulation, he's somewhat limited compared to some of the best Mezco figures. Not terrible. It's not as bad as like the Joker or that John Wick that just came out, but still not the greatest, although I don't really think you need him to be super articulated. I think a lot of people would like to have every figure super articulated just because you can do kit bashes and swaps and stuff. But I mean, you can see his head moves around really well, even though it doesn't seem to have the neck that moves. Like this neck does not shift around at the base, but there's a nice double ball there, giving him a good range of motion up in that head there. And just out of curiosity, if you want to see a couple head swaps, so here's how he looks with the Gomez head on there. It sits really low, but there's the Gomez head, And then here's that vampire, that other vampire head. That actually doesn't look too bad on there. But yeah, so a couple head swaps there. All right, continuing with the articulation. The arm can swing way up past 90 degrees, and then it can swing all the way up and around. The shirt, or the the jacket or whatever, is fairly loose enough to give him a nice range of motion there. There's no twist at the top. I feel like this has a lot of similarities to the Spock, to the Joker body. I don't know if it's exactly the same. The elbows definitely feel like they have slightly more range than that body, but pretty close. I mean, it's a single jointed elbow, comes up this far. Definitely has a twist at the elbow. You have that ball hinge joint at the wrist, so you can kind of angle his hands whichever way you need. And then going into the upper torso, definitely feels like better crunch action than a Joker figure. I can just move this around a lot more than Joker or Spock. You do have to sort of shift the suit around, but once you get in there, you can see him crunching forward and back, twisting at that upper one, angling side to side. Down at the waist, same, very similar sort of range there. He can crunch back and forth. He can kind of rock side to side, and then he can twist as well at that waist. So you can do some pretty good, walking poses, creep out poses, kind of stuff like this. And he's got some good range. There's no butterfly joints in the shoulders, single jointed elbows. So there's some limitations, but he does have, it's not like he's just completely stiff. And he moves nicely. This is a very fluid figure, unlike John Wick, that maybe had very similar articulation, but was really hard to move because of the suit and the stiffness of the joints and all that. You can twist his legs at the top. He can kick forward about this far, just about 90 degrees, and he can kick back. He can go out to the sides, and then he does have double jointed knees, so quite a range of motion there. Down at the feet can point down a bit, and then they can point back up a little bit, a little past flat. They can twist, and then they do rock, but they spring back a little bit. I feel like the fabric is doing something in there, but if you work it, you can get it. They are a little loose going this way, so I feel like I'm going to probably have to always have them on a stand or something, or just position him just right so that it's balanced in a way that's not going to impact that looseness there. I have seen a lot of people with that same kind of looseness, but it's not that bad. It's not going to, I can stand him up and stuff. He isn't going to automatically topple over. But over time, with the changes of the temperatures and stuff like that, it might fall over on a shelf. Anyway, I think that's about it for my review. I'm very happy with this figure. I highly recommend it. I would say get on the wait list. Don't just necessarily jump to the aftermarket unless you can find it pretty close to retail. And if you can find it for like $150, I'd say grab it, because after taxes and shipping and everything else, it's going to be close to that anyway. So I highly recommend this. Jump on that wait list. Get this figure if you can. I've seen some people do some cool things, like they took the I forget what version, but they took a Scarecrow head and they were able to mod it and put it on here and make a DC Scarecrow for their Batman shelf. I've seen other people take the 3 heads of these and put them on the various Gomez figures and have like a little army of vampires. Stuff like that. It's just a really cool release. Having 3 heads, I think, adds to the value. Having that casket really adds to the value. Even though the rest of the accessories, there's not a ton of things like some of the Gomez figures, this one is a pretty sweet release. Highly recommend it. Thanks for watching my video, and until next time, may the Force be with you. Follow me into the